Welcome to probability video 3.5, permutations in Olympic runners. All right, so let's define what a permutation is. A permutation of n objects taken r at a time is given by this formula. I call this NPR, kind of like National Public Radio, equals n factorial over n minus r factorial. It's important to know that that n is the total number of objects, and that r is the grouping size. Okay, and that's going to be very important when using the formula because you just need n and r. All right, so example 5. There's 7 runners in the Olympic finals, and how many different ways can they place for medals? And of course the medals are gold, silver, and bronze, so basically first, second, or third is what we're talking about. So I'm going to use slots, so I'm only concerned about the first 3 places, so I'll only do 3 slots, even though there's 7 runners. So 1, 2, 3, that's my group size. All right, so now I've got 7 runners. Of the 7 runners, how many can take first place? Well, any of the 7. Once a runner takes first place, he can no longer take a different place. So 7 times 6 times 5. All right, without a calculator, 6 times 5 is 30. 30 by 7 would be 210. All right, now I'm going to use the formula, and hopefully you'll see that the formula is nothing more than a way of describing that algebraically. Okay, I prefer the slots if it's not a big number, just so I can see what's going on. So now let's use the formula. So I've got 7 runners, and I want to find out how many ways they can place in 3, so it's going to be the following. A permutation of 7 objects taken 3 at a time in a grouping size of 3. All right, so the formula would say 7 factorial over 7 minus 3 factorial, which would be 7 factorial over 4 factorial. And again, let's use that cancellation method from before. So 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, all over 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. I don't usually write them all out, but I want you to clearly see the cancellation. So these cancel with those factors, and you can see I get 7 times 6 times 5, which was the exact way of doing it with the slots. So that was 210. And finally, the third way of doing this would be to just use your calculator. All right, so here's the schematic of the TI-30. In the second row, there's 3 buttons. The middle one says PRB, so you would press that. And then we're concerned about permutations, so that's going to be item number 1. So what you want to do is first put in the numbers, so you put in 7, then you would go PRB item number 1, and then you would do the grouping size, which is 3. And then you'd hit enter, and you'd get 210. So there you have it, how to use permutations to find the different ways Olympic runners can medal in 3 different methods.